from the drum to the shoe, this is from the shoe to the drum. So for the equilibrium of the lever, I'll just take right here first case 1, fulcrum at A. So when the fulcrum is at A, what is going to happen? That is what we are trying to find out. So I'll draw the lever again here, like this. Fulcrum is here, and then we are applying some force here as effort here as P, and the drum is applying some resistance upwards in the form of F, like this here. There is a distance X here, there is a distance Y here. So now the lever is not rotating, it is stationary even though these two forces are acting. That is called the equilibrium. So lever is in equilibrium under the action of these two forces. Now when they are in equilibrium, that means the moment that is created by this force is equal to the moment created by this force. So you can say that for equilibrium, I'll write only equilibrium here, F into X should be equal to P into Y. So since we already know from the information that is available here, you need to have a braking torque which we obtained from the power transmitted. So this much amount of braking torque you need. So that will tell you how much amount of F you need. So from this equation you can find out F. What should be the amount of F you require, which you can find out from here. Now once you find out F and you put it here, then F is known, distances are given X and Y. You can find out P equal to how much effort you are supposed to apply here, so that effort for the given condition, for the given distances, if you apply this much amount of effort, then that will result into F amount of force that is exerted by the shoe on the drum, and as a result of that, the frictional force that is created will be mu into F, and that mu into F multiplied by the radius is sufficient to create the torque. So the problem is solved considering this step. So if you are given a situation like this, there is a shoe brake, there is a power available at a drum, and it is rotating at so and so speed, and there is a lever which has got distances like this, the lever arms are at distances like this. How much effort, the problem says, how much effort you are supposed to apply here so that you can absorb a power P at a drum which is rotating at n RPM. So you can solve this problem like this, find out the braking torque, then braking torque will give you what is the vertical force you require F, and then that F is nothing but the force that is applied on the lever, so that the lever is in equilibrium when you are applying effort P, and that will give you the value of P. So this is the first case when the lever is here. Now what we have done in this first case, if you observe, you will observe that this frictional force which is here, that frictional force is passing from the fulcrum. That means the frictional force is not causing any leverage or any moment. This frictional force is not contributing to movement of this lever. The movement of the lever is balanced only by these two forces. There is no third force. The force is there, but since it is in line with the fulcrum, it is not causing any movement. Now we are taking the next cases where we are seeing to it that this fulcrum is going to, the frictional force is also going to cause certain movement, and then we will see what happens. So we can write down and we take the next step, that is case 2. Okay, now look here. What we now see is same lever, but now the fulcrum, earlier it was here, now the fulcrum has gone to this place. Okay. The distance here is A. The distance from the fulcrum to this line is A. Other distances are still the same. So I'll just write here case 2. Fulcrum at 2. I'll call this point as 2. Earlier point was 1. I think I have written earlier point as A. Make it 1 because we are writing this distance as A. So call this point in the earlier example as, instead of A, call this point as 1. Now this point is 2, so now the fulcrum is at point 2. Earlier write down case 1 fulcrum at, instead of A write 1. Case 1 fulcrum at 1 earlier, case 2 fulcrum at 2 now. And distance is 8. Now see what happens. I'll draw the figure again of a lever which is in equilibrium. This is the fulcrum point. Here we are applying some effort by hand, and at this place the drum is exerting upward force on the lever. See, we are talking about lever. We want to find out the equilibrium of the lever, what happens. So whatever forces are acting on the lever, that we are going to take. So from here effort is applied P. From here the reaction of the drum is applied F. And now since this frictional force line is not passing from the fulcrum, what is going to happen is mu and F is also mu into F. This mu F also is going to apply on the lever, because what happens is when the drum is rotating like this, that means the drum is pushing. I am just drawing additional force here. This is the force which is same mu F. This mu F is applied by the drum on the shoe, because this is rotating, that means it is pushing the shoe like this. Pushing the shoe means since the shoe is attached to the lever, it is like pushing the lever. So this is causing the lever to tilt like this. Just like effort P is causing the lever to rotate like this. You have seen here just now that P is causing, say, P is causing anti-clockwise movement. So like that, mu F is also causing anti-clockwise movement. So where is mu F acting? Mu F is acting here. Mu F is from, or rather I'll say, by drum on lever. And this one was by lever on drum. Lever or shoe. This is the frictional force that is applied by the shoe on the drum. Here, this is applied by the drum on the lever or on the shoe. Okay, so this is what we have taken mu F like this at a distance of A. So now if you write down the equilibrium condition, so for equilibrium, you can say that P, write this side first, so F into X in this direction will be equal to, F into X is in this direction, the clockwise movement, and the anti-clockwise movement will be created by P into Y plus mu F into A. So if we bring F terms on one side and P terms on the other side, then it says F into X minus mu F into A is equal to P into Y. So I take F out, so X minus mu A equal to P into Y. Therefore, P is F into X minus mu A upon Y is equal to P. So we wanted to find out, the whole exercise is to find out how much is the effort you require in a given condition. How much effort you have to apply by hand so that this particular power will be absorbed. So for this case 2, this mu F also is acting on the lever at a distance A. So that is also causing certain moment. This moment is added to the moment which you are applying by hand, and this is opposed by the frictional moment. This not frictional, the reaction from the drum, this moment is in the opposite direction. So that equation force we have written for the equilibrium of the lever, and then we got the conclusion that how much effort you have to apply by hand is this much. Now here what we have to observe is one thing will happen here, very special thing will happen here. If, see here, see how the bracket is made up of F into X minus mu A upon Y. So just tell me what happens if, right here, if X is equal to mu A. That means whatever is the distance X and distance A is there, it is such that A, if you multiply A by mu, then that is going to give you X. Suppose that is the way the dimensions are available. Then what will happen is when x is equal to mu a, this term will become 0. If x is equal to mu a, then this will be 0, and then what will happen is this p itself will be 0. So the moment x is equal to mu a, p is equal to 0. What is the meaning of p equal to 0? P equal to 0 means you don't have to apply effort. Which means that without applying any effort, you have not applied any effort, but still the brake is applied. So you don't require, see what we have done is to find out how to stop the drum, how much P is required. So it says P is 0, still you can stop the drum. So if that is the case, this is called as self-locking of brake. Self-locking of brake. And also called as self-energizing. Or self-energizing or self-locking of brake. That means the brake, the design is such that the moment this lever comes in contact, the moment shoe comes in contact with the drum, the reaction force mu F, the frictional force mu F is such that the moment caused by mu F is sufficient to apply the brake. That means what we were doing by applying effort like this and trying to tilt the lever like this, see what we were doing is we were trying to tilt the lever this way. So that is not done by P, it is done by this mu F itself. This mu F itself is providing so much amount of moment that the brake is applied because of the moment of mu F. So on its own it is working, that is called as self-locking of a brake. So in certain situations, if the dimensions are such, then you will get the condition of self-locking. That is something which is a special case of applying a brake on its own. We will see one application of this case number 2, and then we will go to case number 3. In case of case number 3, this lever point, they are fixed, fulcrum point will be somewhere else. Right now this second case is telling us a special situation where we are going to get a condition such that the brake is getting locked on its own the moment you bring this in contact. Okay, so note this down, then we'll take up one example of this case 2. We'll take up an example of self-locking of a brake, how it is made use of as a equipment. You can write down this.